Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
You gotta at least be caged, I would think.
I like Mark Week better.
Mark Week?
Mark Week.
Is that like for like hair lip dogs? Mark.
Dum dum da da. Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every single week we take a shallow but hopefully comedic and once in a while even interesting dive into a popular saying, an idiom if you will, into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark. Right beside me is...
I am Skinny. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Life is good. I'm wearing my U2 shirt.
I love you too.
I'm drinking some Coke Zero.
Nice.
I slurped it so bad, I'm like, I am going to suffocate. There's so much Coke Zero in my throat.
Like it just...
gulp.
Not like nasal, like bad swallow.
Like when you have that drink and it just like, there was more in that drink than you thought.
Have you ever had... when you, or maybe this is what you mean, where you swallow and it's like liquid ball stays in its shape as it goes down?
How is that a thing when it's a liquid?
That's what I was going to ask you. How does it stay? And like, please go further down.
It's like,
oh, there it is. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
but it's liquid, so why doesn't it just run down your throat?
Yeah, I know.
Like, I know. How tight is your esophagus? Is all I want to know.
Question that mankind has been asking for centuries.
Whatever that tube is.
Yeah. Is your esophagus, is that where food and drink goes, or is esophagus breathing?
I'm not a scientist. I think food and drink. Because is a windpipe a thing? I'm sure.
There's got to be two
common
different
vernacular.
There's got to be two pipes there. One's for air and one's for...
It's got to divert at some point.
So I have a disease. It's not the right word, I don't think.
Well, let's just get into today's idiom.
I wish I could remember.
Is that the disease?
You know when you take a drink and you're like, down the wrong pipe. And you're like drowning in your own little sip of pop. So I do that more often than rest of humanity.
Don't have to brag
and
about
there's
it.
a word for it. It's like, it's a problem. Like, go see a doctor.
Really? Like an acid reflexy kind of thing?
I do it all the time where it's just like, drink.
It's like sleep apnea for when you're awake.
Yeah. So I got to be like really conscientious of my drinking.
Wow.
Anyway.
You need one of those like CPAP machine things.
Wow.
For regular. Like Darth Vader. Well, whatever. I don't know.
Oh, I'm trying to.
It's also ridiculous. We should see what's happening today.
Well, you also might have that drowning feeling.
Yes, you might have that drowning feeling when you get into
if you get in today's idiom, like
aquatic
You're in Deep.Water, kid.
I hear it again.
Yeah,
you're in Deep.Water, kid.
Can you even understand that?
You're in Deep.Water, kid.
Okay, let's try a different one. She says it, but it's like it's a little weird. How about this?
Oh, I got into some deep water.
Oh, throw an accent on it. It gets a lot easier.
Daniel Craig, Skyfall. Got into some deep water. Getting yourself into deep water. That's today's idiom.
Well,
the first one was, you're in deep water, kid.
It's this is so fantastic in timing because we are just coming out of Shark Week, like in the real world.
Shark Week, like
Shark
on
Week.
Discovery Channel.
Yeah, and so I've watched so many shark videos that my phone just keeps recommending shark videos.
That's funny.
And the irony is, I'm terrified of the water.
Did you hear that they're trying to change the terminology of shark attack?
Oh no!
It's
politically correct shark.
Yeah, that's putting a negative view on sharks, and so it should be a negative. What is it now? See if I can remember. I just listened to this. Negative shark encounter, or something like that.
Don't worry, they're harmless. It's Shark Week is WEAK.
So the irony is the people that are really campaigning for this, so that you don't think worse thoughts about sharks. Their group name is Bite Club.
Oh my goodness!
I'm like,
first rule of Bite Club: don't talk about how you've been attacked by a shark.
Anyway, Shark Week, continue.
Let me guess.
Woo!
With the president, is that Bethany Hamilton or whatever?
Bethany Hamilton. She's the president of Bite Club.
Poor Bethany was because she had her arm chewed off by a shark. Sad. But then she showed up on like Survivor or one of those like video things that are reality based.
Okay.
And so her and her, I guess, husband, and one of the challenges was a swimming challenge.
She probably slayed.
And her with her one arm destroyed everyone else.
Yeah.
She is a
She's
fish.
still surfing.
Yeah.
But to join Bike Club, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
At least an arm. poor Bethany. Yeah, some of those things where it's like the shark comes up to the pontoon and just like slowly wraps its mouth around it.
In the movie?
No, like when they show these Shark Week videos, it's like, oh, this is a great white. It's just an adolescent. It's only like 8 feet long. And then it just like slowly comes up onto the raft. And they like push it off. I'm like, what? It just like it's a chew toy.
When they grab their nose and all the sensory whatever that goes on in a shark's
Oh, it's
nose.
ridiculous.
Anyway, wow.
Shark's no good.
Bonus shark material today.
Yeah. So you're talking about getting into some deep water. Be careful. You got to at least be caged, I would think.
I like Mark Week better.
Mark Week?
Mark Week.
Is that like for like hair-lipped dogs? Mark.
That's also not politically correct.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's cleft palate.
I genuinely didn't.
First
know
the
that
shark
was a
attack
thing.
comment. Now
Is Bike Club too. I apologize to my cleft palate friends. Didn't mean to think by it.
So we're coming out of Shark Week legit though on the Discovery Channel. Is that what you're saying, or were you just segueing?
No, yeah, it's a segueing and reality.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that all of these things are colliding. Yeah. So, anyways, that's all I've got to say.
Well,
about
thank
that.
you for listening.
It's been a good week, everyone. I'm
It's
skinny.
So I was thinking about, though, timely again, because last week we were talking about your vacation you were just on and the fact that I joined you. And speaking of deep water, we got to try in the deep waters of
Okanagan Lake.
Okanagan Lake, where the
Ogopogo.
infamous Ogopogo reigns.
Prehistoric shark.
And it's not like your brain doesn't go there when you're floating, waiting for the boat to come back to you.
This is, without jumping in on your story, my dad was a commercial fisherman out of Ucluelet. And
You fuel it.
And every time we go on his boat, it's like everything's great. Everything is great. You get so far off of the shore, and I just start puking. It could be like rolling waters or crystal clear ocean.
You just had seasickness.
And I just start barfing as soon as I can't see land anymore.
So when we were on the boat,
water,
were you... Oh, when you can't see land anymore.
Yeah, the deep water. If I can see land, I incorrectly assume I can swim there, even though it could be like 15 miles away or whatever.
Right.
Like, and you can't, and you're going to die, because apparently I can't swim 100 meters. but this happened.
Not like Bethany Hamilton.
No, she could do 100 meters. Yeah. With one arm tied
So
behind her back.
this happened.
So continue on your story, Okanagan Lake.
I was still stuck on what is it?
Ucluelet.
Because I was like,
Tofino.
you brought it. Ucluelet.
Ucluelet.
We were in Kelowna, British Columbia, which is paradise for BC.
This is fantastic.
It is resort land.
Yeah.
And it's all lake water, so the water is incredibly warm.
But it's like 100 kilometers long for like a lake. It's literally that big.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think it's bigger. It literally goes from Penticton to Vernon, same lake.
So we spent an entire day, your actual birthday.
Yeah, this is the best birthday.
Out on the water.
50.
It was the best birthday I've ever been on. It was your birthday.
It was awesome.
And it was just hanging with friends on the water and trying, not wakeboarding, trying wake surfing.
Wake surfing.
So, and I say try because it was my first time.
You got up quick.
But was it your first time trying too?
Oh,
though?
yeah.
So like there's a knack to it, but I feel like I was on the edge. Like if I had one more day out there, I think I would have been wake
the first
surfing
part of the day, and I've got what people call a little bit of a weight problem. Here's a little Chris Farley for you.
Chris Farley.
And so the biggest life jacket they had was a medium.
Oh, right.
And so I'm like, well, I guess here we go. And I've got these straps just maxed out. And so I clipping it literally from like the right-hand side of my rib cage, and then a strap over to the left-hand side. So it looks like I have like 3 abs of just like the Michelin man. And
it was definitely worse in your head. It didn't look like
oh
a big
man,
deal.
this is funny. So, but it helps with buoyancy, so you can pop out.
The life jacket?
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
wake
that's what
surfing,
they're
and so
designed
when
for.
you don't have the buoyancy, it was really tricky.
Oh, I see.
So
what you're
later
saying.
on in the
when
day,
it's not fitting right, you don't
when
have
we
the same.
yeah, we
buoyancy.
were able to get our
Got
hands
it.
on an extra large life jacket, which is more my size, and I popped out first try.
It was your first time with the new life jacket.
Yeah,
wasn't
I
it?
just wasn't getting out of the water enough. It was like water was like right up.
You were
like my nose,
fighting
just
it.
like just hold on.
That's the disease I'm
Yeah.
talking about. You found yourself in
It's-
deep water.
Is Mark drinking a Diet Coke?
But speaking of being in deep water, like when you let go or fall or lose your wake surfing-ness, the boat's got to do a little loop, come around for you, and that's when I get the weird feeling. When you're floating alone, and I have a fear of water. It's a limited fear of water. Like I'm not panicking or anything, but I cannot see the life below me.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wigs me out. I just like...
It's because of our childhood. We were all brought up in that same Jaws era.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's minding her own business, swimming out there, and Shark Week. Yep.
But that's when I didn't want Mark Week.
Yeah.
Like anyway, we got wake surfing, but I'm going to elaborate on the day because it wasn't just the wake surfing. We were out on the water all day, taking turns in and out of the water, sometimes just swimming. And then lunchtime comes, and I think your wife arranged it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Memphis
Blues. Yeah, we got the BBQ.
which was prearranged, but it turns out that our friends who live there are like, we don't have to go back to town, and we just cruise across the lake nearer the town.
Yeah, we got to within parking the boat
More,
distance.
not even really mooring the boat, just kind of hand on the rail holding it in place while food came to us from the restaurant.
That's pretty awesome.
And then just puttered around the lake, still on this amazing boat.
Yeah, we're eating
while eating barbecue
eating
and
ribs
baked beans and corn on the cob or whatever. was on
Cornbread.
it. Oh, good. Thanks for turning 50 is all I'm
It
saying.
was awesome.
It was a good day in the deep water.
It was good to share that birthday with people. Leading up to things, because my wife was also turning 50 this year, and friends were asking. We were up doing an activity together, and friends had asked, "Oh, are you like what's going on with my wife's birthday, which is in late February?" And without saying anything, she was just talking off the top of her head. She's actually, Vince and I were thinking of having a joint.
Pause.
And then she paused. And then I'm like, okay, we're having a joint. I'm like,
for your 50th.
I'm like, no, that's not. And then she just paused because she hadn't talked to me at all about.
And there couldn't be, not that either of you are recreational smokers.
Oh, no. I've literally
but
never
if
done it in my
anybody
life.
could be less likely to try a joint, it's your wife.
Oh yeah. No, she's as straight laces again. I've never had anything like that in my life. So yeah, it was just fantastic timing. We were thinking about having a joint. And then just paused. It's like commas and colons matter.
We were joking off the air that you're on the downhill side of this.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
called midlife for a reason.
We're gaining momentum.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Gain momentum on
All the hard effort to get to the top of the hill. Now it's just no brekes.
You're like roller coaster hands
It's
up.
no brakes, baby. It's freedom, baby. Yeah.
It's freedom. So we're talking about being in the deep, getting yourself into deep water, however you want to say it. There's a few versions of it, and that's the idiom today. Get yourself into deep water, and meaning to be in a difficult situation or finding yourself in trouble.
So the next day, it was time to take out the kids because it was for my birthday on the 3rd. It was just.
Well, after I left,
It was adult heaven. You had to go home and do your thing.
We did a day before you came with my
There you
daughter.
go.
So
And so the next day was take my kids out, and our host family, the Ryan and Les, fantastic, lovely couple. And it was time to take out the kids. It was going to be a Sunday, and so we had went out in the afternoon, and it was like packed. Like there was no place to park. Like so, it's like okay, drop.
different than just the day before.
Yeah, like nowhere. So I literally
Wow.
I drove for 5 minutes in one direction. It's like there's nothing. came back 5 minutes in the other direction, nothing. I came back again. I'm like, there's no parking. It's like, well, obviously we got to park. I'm like, there's going to be a spot up the hill, but I'm going to have to head up this hill half a kilometer. I'll park it, and then I'll run back, which goes to, the whole thing about like the buoyancy of the belt that comes into play with just like in general. Like, I don't run down hills or up hills or run.
You're like a grizzly bear.
Okay.
Can't run down hills.
That's what I'm like. The sleeping part, maybe. And so it was like, okay, I'll run down the hill to this other dock area and I'll swim out to the boat.
Oh, okay.
And to save the time.
You have a life jacket on.
No life jacket.
Oh.
It's just me going for it. So I run down the hill.
Are you that strong of a swimmer?
No.
Oh.
And I'm winded. Okay, like,
and jumping in the water.
So I had to run down the hill, and they're like, and they're like joking. It's like, there's that guy running, and Deb's like, it's not him. He doesn't run. And no, they're like, no, it's him. I'm like,
and
okay.
Just swine.
And then I ran, and then I jumped in like I'm doing 2/3 of a triathlon, and I jump into the water, and I'm swimming, and then I'm on my back, and then I'm floating a bit, and I'm like, I had that 10%. I'm like, this is how it ends. And there was
I'm dying. My face hurts.
There was legitimate panic.
I'm laughing because you're here. I know the
there was
ending
legitimate
of this story.
panic. Yeah, I lived. Did you die? Sadly, yes, but I lived. And so I'm like, send out like the kids floaty thing, like that. We're gonna do a boat tow, tow the kids around.
That with you,
yeah. So like, send out the floaty thing. Help me out. And they said we could see a legitimate panic on your face, and it was only like 50 meters away from the boat, but it was like, I had that passing like, this is it. I just go to the bottom.
Oh man,
yeah.
So not the same, but.
I was in deep waters.
The day before, you guys came up, and we were out on the boat with my daughter, doing the same thing, tow boating around, and she's an okay swimmer, but I've never taken her swim like in a lake where there is no bottom. Like,
right. Go to the swimming pool.
There's no edge to grab onto.
It's like 5 meters.
So
sure.
I'm keeping my eyes on her, but she's in a life jacket, so like, she's fine. And confident. I was like, oh, okay, great. She's having fun. I thought she'd be scared. And so, but then her and I were out there, and we're kind of playing around, and just a weird wave came and just up her nose, and like feels like she's drowning.
Maybe it's genetic.
And she spins around and grabs me. I don't have a life jacket. I'm just swimming, treading water, but I'm thinking I'm out there for her safety. But she grabs onto me and stops trying to swim, and is just, even with a life jacket on, she's just pulling me under. And had the same thing, like...
Did you punch her in the face?
Yeah, basically, I had to mind over matter, chuck her away from me, because I know she has a life jacket on.
She's going to be fine, but you're going to die.
Yeah, so I had to throw her away, and then pop up and went, you're fine, you're fine, because I want her to be calm.
Everything's okay.
But I'm... yeah. As soon as I got her off me, I'm a fine swimmer. Maybe not long time swimmer, but I'm okay. And so, it was like...
I can see in your face you had the moment.
Half worried
I had the
that
moment
me
too.
Throwing her, I'm putting her in trouble. But if I didn't get her off of me...
Right.
Like, so, I did not punch her in the face. But it felt that rejecting, like, get away.
Yeah.
Someone else has got to save you. You're on your own now. Anyway,
leave her behind.
We were in deep water, literally.
Oh, man.
And we were in trouble.
I got goosebumps there for a second.
I know. I was thinking that with you. I know that feeling.
Yeah, you can see it in your eyes, like the sheer terrorness of it.
Let's get into this.
Woo, deep water.
I said some words. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind.
I was just looking at our camera here that has a big 4K on the front, and all I see is the word fork.
4K, fork.
Fork. That's a license plate version of fork.
Is it a fork camera?
Is that a fork? Oh, you got yourself a
fork. I
only
want a fork TV. That's all I can't even see low def anymore. I need a fork.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into the origins. This is another week, 2 in a row, where the origins, again, It's by chance that we rambled like we did, but it's good because I got no choices for you because
They're limited.
here's the origin.
Getting into deep water means getting into deep water.
Yep. The origin of this phrase dates back to biblical times.
How is it an idiom?
Here you go. It's a biblical metaphor. Psalm 69:14 says, "Deliver me out of the mire, and let me not sink. Let me be delivered from them that hate me, and out of the deep waters." Has nothing to do with swimming, nothing to do with the ocean. It's used metaphorically. It is an idiom in its original use.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which,
So it
of
doesn't
course,
actually necessarily mean deep waters, but deep waters actually applies.
yeah, this verse has nothing to do with actual deep waters.
You're in over your head.
You're in over your head. Yeah. So it's an excellent metaphor for biblical writing with when you read the Bible, how many fishing references there are, fishermen and travel by sea, all sorts of ocean and sea references throughout the Bible. So this would have been incredibly applicable to all, even back then.
Sure.
And so that
You got to know your audience.
yeah. And so it doesn't mean that this Bible verse is...
Listen, my illegitimate children. Lo, do not go into the waters.
It doesn't mean that
deep.
this actual single Bible verse is the origin of deep waters, but it does show how far back that's been used to mean the same thing.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And so ends the origins
That's
portion.
the end of the origins.
Yeah, everything else has meaning, no history. So to be in deep water means, because it's some idioms that we've come across where it's in German, it's in Japanese, it's in, pick your language. And it's because it's so obvious. It was bound to be an idiom in every language. And it's that kind of thing. Everybody can relate to drowning. Everybody can relate to
I see.
Not having the
I
footing
see the
under you.
idiomaticness of it. But yeah, clearly it's just, it's a common metaphor.
But yeah, biblical times, it's stated almost exactly how we use it. And so it's probably much older than that. It almost for sure predates print, using being in deep waters as a metaphor for I'm in trouble. Yeah. And now it's sermon time where we reference our Lord and Savior as the lifeguard.
I see. In over our head. And so Moses and Jesus and some old bearded guy were out golfing. Amen. And the story is in one of the apocryphal books. And because they're all familiar with water.
Post-apocryphal.
And first up,
there's got to be something there. Post-apocryphal.
Jesus hits the ball, and it's like,
I thought
clearly going into the water, which is over his head. We're just gonna run with it, and it's gonna clearly go in the water.
Are you creating something, or is this happening?
And this is happening.
Okay, Jesus, a bearded guy, and Moses.
And Jesus hits his first shot, and it's looking beautiful, but it's like, it's gonna go in the water, which they know is over their head. But being Jesus, right at the very edge, there's this small piece of dirt. Boom, ball lands on it. It just doesn't seem accessible to anyone, and the water is over their head. But Jesus walks across the water, up to that little piece of land, takes his next shot. Boom, nice in. He's excited. Low, he's excited. Next up is Moses, takes his shot. Boom. Looks like this thing's going for the deep waters, and sure enough, bloop, hits into the deep waters. But being Moses says, "Open waters," and he raises his hand and does this kind of gesture.
Raises his putter.
Yeah, he raises his putter, and it's 5-iron. Waters open up right to where the ball is, because just like the Red Sea story, hits it in. Birdie, boom, just like that. Old bearded man hits the ball, and it looks like it's going off way into the deep waters, and like they're never going to find this into the weeds. And it lands on a lily pad out in the waters. Frog nearby looks at it, lashes its tongue out because he thinks it's a fly, as frogs do. Picks up the ball. An eagle comes. Seeing the frog, says, "Free meal." Picks up the frog, starts flying away with it, squeezes it with its talons, ball pops out, Ball goes right into the hole. Hole in one. And then Moses says to Jesus, I hate playing with your dad.
The whole time I'm jumping ahead. And it's funny enough, I thought, oh, the third person must be God. But then that whole thought, I forgot about it. And I'm like, is it going to be like John Lennon? And then when you said the eagle got involved, which is a golf term, I'm like, right. And so he got an eagle? Or where's this going? That was great.
Amen.
Amen.
So that's
so let's close in prayer.
That's it for this.
See you all
we gotta jump into the
Olive
riddles.
Garden after church.
That excessively nonsensical, long.
It's been a couple of episodes. It's been a couple of episodes of.
Hey, there's not a lot to go on here.
You're getting to know how we're like off camera.
Yep.
All right. Well, let me tell you a little something. Riddlink is a game we like to play. Take a two-part trivia-based question and requires, nay, demands a two-part but overlapping answer. So, for example, let's take a look at last week. You thought nobody's going to get this. We left our village-idiom children with the advantageous excitement for Daniel, star of My Left Foot. Our idiom du jour was having a field day. So it's a hint. Did you get this one? Mm-mm. Oh, you were going to Google it. You never Googled it, did you?
No, I never looked back.
So this is having a field day. Sorry, I said his name Daniel, right?
Daniel
so, Having a field day Lewis. Oh. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, I see. Okay, that is a hard one.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they're
But
super
that's how
easy.
you play. Having a field day, Day-Lewis, combine them, having a field day Lewis. Welcome to Riddlink, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, here we go. I've got a couple. You've got a couple. Let me go first.
Go first.
We are in a fathom of trouble. So call Mark Wahlberg to help this exploding offshore oil rig.
Oh, I know exactly what you're referencing.
We are in a fathom of trouble. So call Mark Wahlberg to help this exploding offshore oil rig.
What is that movie called? All right, so getting yourself in deep water, waterworks, water boy.
Mama says you're not going to get this one.
What is it?
Getting into Deep.Water Horizon.
That's what's called?
Deep.Water Horizon.
Oh, Deep.Water Horizon.
Deep.Water
Not
Horizon.
Just Water Horizon.
No.
Oh, you got the
I
double. Double overlap.
Deep.Water Horizon.
Okay,
man.
I got one for you. Finding yourself swimmingly in trouble while watching Kevin Costner's Aqua Earth.
Mama says getting into deep water world.
That's it. Yeah, all the answers got to be by Deep Water Boy.
Okay. Well, this one will be a little tricky. So our village-idiom children, please chime in. See if you can beat the Jurassic mark. So don't be upset before you head to the lowest aquatic regions.
So don't be upset.
I'll add in ... So don't be upset before you head to the lowest aquatic regions.
Is it?
Yep.
You get what you get? Wait, you get what you getting yourself in deep water?
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Get what you get, but don't get upset.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
That's fun. We'll see if any of our village...
The ... is definitely what got me
You
there.
need that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
It's in the final print version.
Perfect.
Well,
amended by.
Well, we love hearing from you, so make sure you reach out to us via our Instagram or our other social media related things. On Instagram, it's at the.village.idiom, as well as thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's the Facebook, the YouTubes, or the Twitters at 3 Minutes Gone.
Beautiful. All right, here it is. I'm going to read it twice. I'm doing this one a little different. What do you get when you cross an idiom for H2O trouble with a sometimes seedless summer shareable fruit? I'll read it one more time. What do you get when you cross an idiom for H2O trouble with a sometimes seedless summer shareable fruit?
And that is 3 Minutes Gone. I got you.
I got you.
I got your
H2O trouble right here, man.
Well, it's fun putting today's episode together. We hope you enjoyed it. Oodles of fun, right, guys? You know what I'm saying?
Poodles are fun, even.
I'm Skinny.
I am Jurassic Dog Paddle Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
Feel you be my breath through the deep, deep water. Take me farther.
And that's 3 minutes done.